Hello everyone. You can now send a message to someone on the other side of the world in 1 second. But 10,000 years ago, there was a network that spanned entire continents without a single device, and it worked faster than you think. Today, we're going to explore how our ancestors solved a problem we consider a modern invention. And it will change how you see the human brain. 200,000 years ago, a quiet revolution took place in the human body. One nerve, the hypoglossal. It controls the fine movements of the tongue. In Neanderthals, this nerve was 3 times thinner. They couldn't pronounce most consonant sounds. This alone may have been the reason for their extinction. Speech isn't just communication. It's a technology of power. Those who could speak more persuasively survived. The rest didn't. But the voice has one fundamental limit. A few hundred meters after that, silence. But our ancestors found a way to shout across mountains. The Yoruba people of West Africa created talking drums. This isn't music. This is a full-fledged language. One drummer could transmit a complex message over 10 kilometers. One, with nothing, and a chain of relay stations across hills and riverbanks pushed information 100 kilometers in an hour. When European colonizers entered African villages in the 19th century, the locals already knew everything about them. Names, numbers, intentions. The colonizers thought it was magic. It was a network, simply made of wood and skin. But drums aren't the only method. There's something even more astonishing. The island of La Gomera, the Canary Islands. Here lives the Silbo language, entirely based on whistling. It's more than 4,000 years old. Range, up to 8 kilometers. Neuroscientists scanned the brains of Silbo speakers and got a shocking result. Whistling is processed in the same brain areas as ordinary speech. It's not a code. It's a language. In 2009, UNESCO added Silbo to the intangible cultural heritage of humanity. A living language. Still. Now about light. Because ancient people invented binary code thousands of years before the first computer. Indigenous peoples of North America used blankets to interrupt smoke columns. 1 break, 1 value. 2, another. 3, a third. That's literally a bit. The Chinese army in the Han Dynasty transmitted signals along the Great Wall. 750 kilometers in under an hour. The fastest messenger on horseback would have taken several days. Think about that. They didn't know they were inventing a data transmission protocol. They just wanted to protect their people. But the most underrated communication tool isn't sound or light. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar established 65% of all human communication is nonverbal. A gesture, a glance, a micro-expression. Our brain reads this in milliseconds. The Hadza hunters of Tanzania coordinate group hunts with almost no words. 1 tilt of the head, direction of gaze, movement of a hand. Over years of shared life, they achieved accuracy we can't replicate. Misreading a signal cost lives. It made their perception sharper than any instrument. Now, the most astonishing part. What scientists only discovered in the 21st century, but our ancestors used 300,000 years ago. Neuroscientist Uri Hassan from Princeton conducted an experiment. A storyteller and listeners were placed in fMRI machines. The result changed communication science. When a story captivates a listener, their brain activity begins to mirror the storyteller's. Not a similar pattern, identical, literally a synchronization of 2 brains into one. That's why myths worked, not as entertainment, but as technology for transmitting behavioral programs between people. Don't go there at night. That's a rule you can forget. The one who went there at night met a demon and died. That you'll never forget. The difference in memorability is 22 times. But how do you store information when paper doesn't exist yet? The Incas solved this problem brilliantly. Quipu, a system of cords with knots of different types, colors, and arrangements. Spanish conquistadors thought they were just decorative ropes. They destroyed thousands. The decoded portion of the Kipu contains population demographics, tax records, military chronicles, and, according to scholars, poetry. An entire civilization without writing in the conventional sense. Someone sat and tied knots, knowing that 500 years later, a person in another country would try to read what they were thinking. That's communication across time. Here's what's most striking. We didn't become smarter than our ancestors. We just changed tools. A 2023 Harvard University study showed that despite sending 30 billion messages a day, 58% of people report feeling lonely. An all-time high. We gained speed, reach, and scale. But we lost something for which we don't even have a word. Presence. Our ancestors communicated so intensely precisely because they had no choice. Every conversation could be the last. Every word carried weight. Research shows that during live conversation, the brain releases 4 times more oxytocin, the hormone of trust and bonding, than during texting. Our brain still lives in the Stone Age. And that's good news. The drum internet. The whistled language across mountains. Binary code from smoke. Brain synchronization through stories. Knots as a civilization's database. They invented all of this not out of necessity, but out of an incredible desire to be heard. It's embedded in us at the DNA level. Every time you tell a story, you activate the same system that worked 200,000 years ago. Every time you look into another person's eyes, you're doing what your brain was built for. Technologies have changed. The need has not. And that means true communication hasn't gone anywhere.